Today is the story of my first time using any type of Kveik yeast. Now, you just saw the picture of the Imperial A44 Kveiking blend, and I'll read about that in a second. Now, that is what I have. However, mine looks like this because I had a preview example from, I've had this a month, but it's just coming out. I think it just came out yesterday, so depending on how fast I get this video out, you can go ahead and buy it, depending on if it sounds like something you want to try. Now, as you know, well, here we got the still have a ways to go on the wort. As you know, Kveik is all the rage right now. How can I not be too in the sun, but yet not be too squinty? These yeasts from Scandinavia area ferment fast. They can ferment hot, up to 97 Fahrenheit. This blend, and I don't know about more individual strains, but very hot. And the cool thing is, apparently, you don't get these weird off flavors. If anything, you get either neutral or desirable flavors. So, what Imperial says about this is a blend of 3 Kveik strains that can produce an insane amount of pineapple, guava, and other exotic tropical fruit aromas. Thrives in hot fermentations. A low pitch rate can be used to drive these aromatics even higher, but the brewer should ensure this low pitch rate be combined with the continuously high fermentation temperature. Now, I don't know if you can see, I'm sweating. It's got to be 80 degrees out here. It's 10 a.m. St. Paul, summer is here. It's getting to 90 plus today. So I do have central AC in my house. I'll probably have it running a little bit, but I'm sure I can easily find a place where this thing can get into the 80s with some blankets around it, maybe warmer. So we're going to see. Now for the hop, I'm keeping it neutral. I have this hop called Pato. I got 4 different hops. Callista, Pato, Ariana, Sabro from BSG Craft to try out. Today, the Pato hop is a super high alpha acid variety that delivers clean, smooth bitterness. When used as a bittering hop, it provides a neutral flavor to the beer and a pleasant bitterness. Perfect. I just want to see what this yeast blend will do. The other thing is I'm only using 10 pounds of raw Arturo, straight, simple malt, nothing complicated. I just want to see what the yeast will do. So far I've got 6.8 gallons of about 11 bricks, so hopefully it'll come in around 1050. It'll ferment fast. I can get it in the keg. I could turn this thing around hopefully reasonably quickly, not too complicated. I got the chicken lady is coming to get the grain. The birds are chirping, the sweat is flowing. I even got myself a breakfast beer going here, so we'll see how it comes out. The fish from Vermont are on tour. I'm going to be seeing them in a couple weeks, Alpine Valley. Maybe some of you will have been there with me. This beer is about done. I got 5 gallons. It's going to be 1046, 1047, 1048. We'll figure that out in a little bit. There's my 5 gallons. And now I'm just going to pitch this. I am not making a starter. Under pitching, as I just mentioned, might give some different results. I also did not do my pure O2 aeration because I do this splashing, pouring thing anyway, and also under pitching / stressing the yeast might give it a little result. So yeah, oh, here's one more note. My thermometer only goes up to 78. And another nice thing about this yeast strain is I didn't have to cool it down to 60 degrees. I just cooled it down to 80 or 78 or whatever it says. So I will not know the exact temperature it's fermenting at unless I was to get a different thermometer with more higher temperature range. I will know if it's off the chart, and it should be in the 80s, but I won't really know exactly what it's going to be at, it looks like. At any rate, I'm going to pitch this yeast and see how fast it gets going with no starter, no extra aeration. It's very warm temperature, so that'll help it get going. But so far, so good. So I am kegging the Kveiking blend. It's been a week and a day since I brewed it. It was pretty much, it appeared to be done fermenting after 2 to 3 days. I did not take a reading at that time, but activity had slowed greatly, and I reckon it would have been almost done. Today I'm getting a reading of about 1.007, but that's at almost 80 degrees, so then I have to add 2 points, so that makes it about 1.009. It smells. I'm not the super taster that some people are, but I can get peach, pineapple, and mango off of the nose of this thing. My best guess is it was fermenting in the mid 80s. Like I said, my thermometer goes up to 78. It was well above that, as far as I can tell. At least it was above it. It was really ripping away. And then the taste has those ripe fruit flavors with a little bit of the spiciness that you might get from a saison type of a yeast. I think that's in the description of these types of Kveik yeast and what they can do. So, I mean, very simple beer so far. As you can, I mean, this thing is going to be kegged. You could be drinking this thing tomorrow. I mean, you can drink these things really fast if you want a fast turnaround beer with a really good flavor. And I suppose it could even be in discussion for making session beers with these things, where you don't need big gravity. I mean, this was 1049 or 1048, whatever, and you could probably even go lower, 1040, to just get a nice session ale that would have a lot of flavor. But I'm gonna pay attention to my siphon. We'll get her kegged and carved, and we'll do a tasting. Isn't it something? Oh, Chip. No, you and your 1993 Pearl Jam references.
Now, Vitology was later than 93.
So,
Wasn't it?
well, 91 was 10.
The other song from
What was
that
the
album
second one?
is Better Man.
Versus.
So that would have been
Versus
a couple
was
years
93.
later. Yeah, so maybe like 95-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vitology.
Did that have Spin the Black
Oh,
Circle?
it's pretty. Right
She
before I
don't look
graduated.
she don't look too shabby.
Ready.
You got a snare board with wheels on it?
People are out of control.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are. You know,
So we're drinking a beer from Thirsty Bacon.
Oh, man.
real good beer. So,
We are thirsty
this
pagans.
beer, cheers to
Oh.
everybody. We're in Chip's porch. Michael and Chip are here. Charlie P. and Elsa as well. We are drinking this Kveiking blend, Imperial Yeast. You saw some of the brew day stuff. It fermented for sure over 78, probably I would guess mid 80s. Not really totally pushing the upper limits, but hotter than you would ferment most beers. You were asking about the beer. Somebody's asking about theirs. Just 10 pounds of two-row, 9 grams of Pato. One of those ones you gave me. That's a neutral hop. So a third of an ounce for the bittering, and then 2/3 I just threw in at the end. So very low kind of bitterness. You shouldn't be getting much flavor from the hops. Malt is really nondescript. If you get any kind of flavors, they're probably coming from the yeast. Finished at 1.009, OG of 1048. And we are about 3 weeks and a few days from brew day. So pretty young. I probably kegged it at like 10 days or something. You know, a lot of times I struggle with getting aromas off of different beers for one reason or another, but this one, when I smell it, I get aromas.
Yeah, what do you get?
Well, what do you get?
Well, it's your video. You can.
No, I wonder what y'all get. If anything. If you're like, oh, I don't get as much aroma, then I'll be like, okay.
It's really mild all around. Like, it's very pleasant. There's some super, like, subtle fruitiness. Like some apple or pear kind of esters
I like that.
that are coming at me. I get, I don't know, like the first thing I tasted when I sipped it was this kind of like baking spice suggestion, but very, very subtle, like a cinnamon or mace or something like that.
I think
Just a little earthy.
that's so funny how you just laid that out, because I would say something very similar, but I would have said mango, peach, somebody chased it and they said apricot. I'm like, okay, sure.
That's not similar at all, though.
No, but it was like a fruit thing. Like I get all this fruitiness. I don't think it's subtle. I think it's like more significant in the aroma and the flavor. And then I think you get some sort of spiciness from the yeast. It is throwing you what you would consider a rustic, a farmhouse type of a saison-y, type of a spicy thing. You brought, you said baking spices. I would be more generic and just say saison-y spiciness or something like
A
that.
little like white pepper. But there's that saisoniness, like you're saying, but it doesn't seem quite as dry, even though 1009 is a low number.
Yeah, it's
To me, it still sits pretty thick on the tongue.
It's got a nice mouthfeel. I see the mango now that you say that.
I think the official description is something like pineapple, orange, mango type of things.
I mean, I get a lot of breadiness out of it, which could be the Kveik, it could be the malt, even though you say it, you call it kind of neutral, but it's got a little haze on it, so I would see that something's still in suspension, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's known to flocculate very well or very highly. I guess
I get
my
it's kind of like
interest-
makes me think of like a wheat saison for some weird reason.
possibly, even though there's no wheat.
Right. It's more of like a body boost to a saison.
I wanted to make, I wasn't doing juniper berries, I wasn't doing juniper boughs, I wasn't doing a raw ale process, and this is not a super traditional Kveik strain. It's a blend that you can buy from a commercial manufacturer. But the next video that I might have up after this is this exact same beer, malt-wise and hop-wise, same exact beer. I think the gravity was almost exactly the same, maybe a point different, except with an authentic Norwegian Kveik strain from Sigmund Gjernes, Voss Kveik. So that thing is from the actual farmhouse. It's not even the commercial one you can buy. So it'll be very interesting, I would hope, to drink that beer next to this beer. And you have two. It's basically like a split wort scenario, really, because it's the same wort that I made 3 weeks apart.
And the two that I have is exactly a split.
Yeah. And it was the same gravity, it was the same, 10 pounds of the same malt and everything. So, but to try the one you can buy from Imperial, this is pretty interesting. This makes you wonder, like, what if you used a really goofy hop like Mosaic, which throws off all kinds of really crazy fruit flavors, plus some pine flavors, and then you use this yeast. People are making Kveik IPAs, and you can see how you could easily,
Totally.
if you were smart enough about recipe formulation and you could use the right hops, you could make a pretty interesting beer.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of the ones, at least that I've heard from Ivar in Norway, they keep it neutral. It's like Hallertau is their hop. I feel like they really have a kind of a point of pride of letting the
Yeast shine.
the generation of Kveik kind of shine through.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so, cool. Sometimes
Cool story.
you
bro.
want to talk a lot. Sometimes you don't need to. I'm happy with it.
No,
It's a
it's
good
good.
summer drinker.
It is good.
I like it.
It's pretty easy. I mean, all you have to do is buy the right yeast blend and you get this interesting beer. So, stay tuned for the Sigmund Gjernes Voss Kveik. Zero gut. That's not Norwegian. I don't know Norwegian. Skål. Are they a Skål country? Go Vikes. Are they a Go Vikes country? Like
Ivar,
the
sure
original,
the heck is.
original Vikings.
Yeah, they're like, go Vikings.
They don't care about
conquer
NFL
Europe.
football. They go Vikings.
Yeah, they're sacking and pillaging, not
Right.
sacking quarterbacks.
Oh, there we go. All right, so thanks for playing along. We just bottled a collaboratively brewed barley wine. Do we have a name for that thing?
Storm in a teacup.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a golden barley wine.
Okay.
I put in parentheses, not so golden barley
It'll be
wine.
a chop and brew joint at some point, but we bottled it tonight. Actually, they
3 years
bottled
from
it.
now.
They bottled it. I just showed up late and brought beer, so there you go.
You supplied the equipment. You were like the angel
True.
investor.
Yeah, okay, right.
You also did all the work on the brew
I
day.
did
So
do
this
all-
is just kind of like
Venture-
warm up.
some of
Venture capitalist.
All right.
Wow.
Thanks for watching. Catch you later.
I want to talk economics.